That's right. Now tell us a little bit about your campaign, Christy. I understand you have 3 different strategies or 3 focus points to your campaign. Tell us what that's about.
My campaign is about putting a little TLC into the world, truth, love, and courage. And with that, my focus is on making government smaller. It's on adding and expecting more personal responsibility out of myself, the people at large, and my fellow politicians. And thirdly, which is a very important one, is how we get from here to there, is to come up with non-government solutions, free market solutions to our everyday issues and problems. And to have people understand that government is not the solution to all our problems. It actually is a bad solution, and that there are better solutions, free market solutions out there.
And let's talk a little bit more specific. Let's talk about education. How would a non-government solution help us with our education issues right now?
A non-government solution would give us more choices. A non-government solution would allow children an opportunity to be able to learn in different venues, ones that their parents think are better situations for them to learn. And there are steps to get us from here to there, and I know a lot of people are worried that we're going to get rid of all schools for the poor, and that's just not true.
Libertarians want to do everything slowly, incrementally. We'll work it all out. We're not going to leave anyone out in the cold, not going to leave anyone in the dark, we're not going to leave anyone without an education. We're not going to leave the poor behind. In fact, a lot of the things that we'll do on the way there
will enhance the poor's...
yeah, we'll eliminate, there'll be a lot less poor people. One thing, if we could just get rid of all the corporate welfare, the ensuing increasing competition for those people at the top who want to compete. You don't have to compete in a capitalist society, but if you want to, you can go into a competitive field. If not, then don't. But the increased competition from the people at the top, once they have to work for their money, instead of just have it handed to them, like Enron did on a silver platter.
So let's talk a little bit about your issues. You must be running as a libertarian in that district. I'm sure that there's other folks that are running against you that are in all the other parties. And so what is it that you're going to bring to that district? Why should people think about a libertarian in office there?
Well, we have a lot of problems in California that I think that it takes a libertarian to solve. The Republicans and Democrats have shown that they don't know how to solve these problems because the problems keep getting worse year after year. Well, some of the big issues, I believe, are education. Our education, I keep reading reports about how we're near the last compared to the other states when it comes to science and math and reading. And I keep reading stories about how people come out of grade school or high school and they're illiterate. Well, we can do a lot better. Our education system needs to be improved or done away with. And these are also
done away, replaced by something better, replaced by something that's not government schools.
Exactly.
Government controlled. Our education hasn't really improved since the government has taken it over more and more and more. The homeschoolers do much better. And when I was in school, I never learned how to run a business. I never learned I could own my own business. I didn't learn how to use capitalism for my benefit. I think that's one of the biggest problems.
So what you're talking about then is if we privatize government, or I'm sorry,
government schools.
Yeah, government schools. We privatize government schools, that we actually will get better educated children. Is that what you're talking about?
That's definitely a possibility, sure. Well, with our system right now, we know that we're not getting the kind of education that we should be able to get. So it's time to try something different.
Don't you think that we're actually going towards that with some of these vouchers that we have for folks that can now make their choices?
In some states.
In some states.
In some
states. Do you think that we're going? Do you think that we're going in the right direction? As a libertarian party, is that part of a libertarian mindset to go in the voucher kind of direction?
Well, that's a step in the right direction towards, well, it's a step in the direction towards a libertarian education system, a libertarian society, a voucher system. We had a voucher initiative on the ballot that got rejected.
Right, and
now,
that's
something that we have
in California.
There's the huge amounts of money the Republicans and Democrats have working against us. And running for office, our partisan candidates, we seldom win in partisan races. But the idea of running them is to let people know we exist, and also to bring our membership up to the point so that we have the money to run the races in ways we can win. We get the money to pinpoint certain races and get more partisan people elected. We've been in and out of various state assemblies, not yet in California, because they have it locked up because of the money. So out there, you people watching, join the Libertarian Party, and go to the web, go to lp.org, and join the party, and get our newspaper,
register to vote, register to be a Libertarian, and vote Libertarian. It's the only way we're going to get our candidates in there and get our philosophy to have individual liberties honored. And it's the only way to do it is to vote it in.
Well, that's how I got involved. That's how I found the Libertarian Party, because I just typed it in and read about it, and I just found myself agreeing with these points of views. And they're not radical. They're not crazy.
No, we're a lot of libertarians want to change the platform a little bit because it's written in a little bit of an in-your-face kind of way, but it states everything very clearly, and it's written by, you know, kind of political scientist types, but in application it's actually more of a moderating factor in American politics, which is why we're here. You know, 50% of everyone's income going to taxes when you add up all the little taxes.
I know. Taxes are coming up right now, and I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, of everyone's money. You know, people have a tendency to think that, oh, poor people aren't paying as much taxes, but you know, you have all these other little taxes hidden.
I think it's quite the other way. I think we are paying the most. I mean, the middle class and lower class
seem to be paying all the taxes. Also, the people think, well, I'm just going to raise taxes on the people on the top. Well, all they do then is raise the prices on the rent,
or the products
they sell, and the businesses that they own, or the services that they sell, and the businesses that they own. So it just gets passed on back down to the little guy, the person on the bottom in the middle class.
Yes.
So it's kind of, again, another one of those magical things where we expect the government to fix all of our problems, fix every problem in the world. And it's the wrong tool. It's not working. Government should be doing law enforcement against people who are harming other people.
Hurting other people.
Fraud. Perhaps Enron, something like that. If there's any fraud there, then the government should come in and arrest those people. But one of the problems there is the government's so in bed with these big corporations, and there's so much regulation. If the government's regulating business, then when business misbehaves or cheats someone, who's responsible, that business or the government? So we need to get those two things separate from each other, so we can make sure that the government comes in with law enforcement when someone steals.
Exactly.
So what about these raves? What kind of things have happened? What kinds of things has law enforcement done to try to stop people from having these dance parties?
Well, regardless of having the permits and having your security, and not, you know, having too many people. I mean, you have the fire marshal there, but if they have reason to suspect, or if they just don't want to deal with this party and all the after effects, they will shut you down. And they'll come up with reasons like, you know, reasonable doubt, drug use, and it's
reasonable
kind of
suspicion of drug use.
But I find it's really more dangerous to stop or shut down a rave, because what ends up happening, if you send all these kids home, and some will be intoxicated, if you send them home on these drugs, it can cause more damage. And a rave is in a way safe because it is all night. You're not going anywhere, and these kids don't leave until they're pooped.
Right.
You know.
Also, I remember there was a huge controversy. Someone was in the front page of the LA Times that some kids coming home from a rave had crashed their car. Well, how many people coming home from basketball games and football